All
You
right,
got it.
cool.
All
Samantha,
right.
it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today.
Thank you.
So let's begin our journey into your work by asking you about something that probably had a big impact on what you're doing, which was the pandemic 5 years ago. And everybody had a different response. LA, Kansas City, Florida, everybody did. But at the end of the day, it hit us all on a cellular level. How did you get through the pandemic and how has it affected your life today?
Excellent question. Thank you.
Yeah.
It hit me hard. Ooh, it was one of the most traumatic, difficult times of my life, myself amongst millions, right? Um, it was a nightmare, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I went through the one of the worst times of my life and also one of the best times of my life. And so this was actually a very profound awakening for myself. I went through a complete dark night of the soul. I went through a complete, I submersed myself into a rabbit hole of just so many deep spaces of myself and of the world. And I really took everything to heart. All things that were happening outside of myself externally were also happening to myself internally.
Mhm.
And I'll explain why. I just gave birth to my daughter.
Mhm.
She was about a year old at this time. My husband, who was working 7 days a week, I mean, I think he had maybe 5 days with our daughter, and then he was off and out the gates. So for that whole year, I had been by myself taking care of this baby, not much support, really just me. And then when this hit, it was really where, the struggle with you can't really be in person with people, or we're not really sure about that. It's just we're doing what we're told, we're questioning everything, we're questioning ourselves. And this experience was, I went so deep and it was just a very dark period. At
Yeah.
the same time, the absolute joy of my life and my existence became my daughter. And so, even though I was in, I mean, it sounds so dramatic, but I mean, when I say all this, I mean it truly. It was like the depths of despair. There were so many tears. There was so much anger. There was so many emotions swirling and whirling around in my brain, and I couldn't really understand it until I had some time and space and retrospection. And then I couldn't really explain it to people around me because when you go through something like this yourself, it's very hard to express through
Mhm.
words and communicate clearly and properly
Mhm.
what you're feeling again until you have some time and space and you're able to kind of get a good hold and perspective on, wow, what just happened to me.
Yeah.
But this was one of the biggest periods of my life where I actually had the most enormous self-reflective time with myself. And the beauty in all of this, I wouldn't take any of it back or change any of it at all. No regrets. I don't like what happened to the world, of course, but to me personally, I wouldn't change a thing because I'm someone who's a very curious person. I question everything. I've always been that way. I may have been one of the kids in class that have been a little annoying because I raised my hand too much because my mind was always, I had the questions and
Yeah.
I just always had the questions. And I love the teachers that let me explore that and say, no question is dumb here, ask away. And I was like, okay.
Yep.
Um, this made me even more curious. This made me question even more. And so it was a extraordinary time of pain wrapped in beauty. And again, I wouldn't take any of it away. I feel the blessings from all the lessons. And that's my favorite part of life is getting to see getting to the belly of what's going on, getting
Yep.
to the underneath and seeing what, unravels for us and where things land so we can better understand ourselves. And that way, the more we understand ourselves, we can have more compassion for everything and everyone around us.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about love and it's all about enjoying ourselves in life, even through all these craziness, all
Yeah.
these crazy times, right?
Yeah, I think it was an existential fork in the road. I think a lot of us that lived through this, that took it seriously, have a new velocity or veracity about the way we're going to go about life. Because before that, we just weren't presented as overtly with this idea of what are you going to do? How are you going to live your life? I almost feel like we went through a rapture. And now when we got out of it, I'm looking around at everybody and I'm like, wow, we all went through this time together. Because there's so many moments that have happened, but it's in one country or one continent. This was the entire globe. Every single one of us felt it, in a very
Yeah.
specific way. And I also think, too, it's interesting for everyone that had a baby during that time. I have an idea that I would love to pitch, and that idea of like Netflix's Stranger Things. All of the babies at that point, there was more people at home. In the incubation process, they always talk about how if you play classical music or music to the womb, it makes the child smarter. So I would love to come up with an idea of all these babies that were growing then. Now, like when they get older, they're going to become somehow scientifically like inclined to be the
Mhm.
ones that will all come together and will eradicate global pandemics from ever happening again.
Wow.
Would that be fun?
I love
Like a
this.
legion of superhero kids that were
This is
just during that time, and they heard all these voices and all these contradictory things. Wear a mask to the restaurant, but take it off when you're in the restaurant. Do this, do that. Don't shake hands. Stay 6 feet apart, which is anterior to everything we knew when we were growing up. Like everything in kindergarten that we knew was thrown immediately out the window in like a week in America.
Oh yeah. It was awful.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
awful.
It was terrible.
It really
So,
was. And I don't even like to throw around the word nightmare. And when I said that a few minutes ago, it's like it's truly what it was.
yeah,
And it was, I mean, we were, like you say, it was an existential crisis. It was, we had such turmoil within. And I just hope and pray that the majority of us, I know that a lot of people awakened in this time. It's like we're all in these sleeper cells and we're just, it's like the Matrix,
yeah, uh-huh,
everyone's asleep and then, but a lot of people woke up. A
yep,
lot of people woke up to themselves.
yeah,
What is within us is such a connection to the external.
yep,
And I always everything I do, everything that I personally view in my life, all the external, I view as, okay, I manifested that.
yep,
Good, bad, everything. If I'm having all these bad thoughts consistently over the years, I manifested that.
hmm,
This thing, this loop, this cycle that's happening to me, I built that.
yep,
That's from my construct. And we don't pay attention enough to our thoughts and our words and our actions, which are so highly powerful, that we forget how much power we have. And I did see, I'm sure you did too, so much power, so
yep,
much empowerment came out of this time
yep.
because a lot of us were so asleep. And now a lot of us are like, it's kind of this thing where once your eyes are open, you just can't go back.
No, you can't.
I'm so awake. I'm so tapped in now.
Hmm.
And I just explained this just yesterday, not explained, but mentioned this to this gentleman I was speaking with yesterday. I was like, don't we only tap into like 10% brain
Yep.
power, right? Something like that.
Hmm.
Which I guess you could take it so many different ways, but to me, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I wish we would tap into more.
Hmm.
And if that's telling it all, then shouldn't that inspire us and motivate us even more to
Yes.
want to tap into ourselves, to our psychic abilities, to our human abilities, to our oneness within ourselves, and then how this collective is so connected.
Yep.
the things that I see in my business as a coach and just around me as a human is we're so disconnected.
Hmm.
And the one thing that I was nervous about, because I still see it happening in the young children that I know these days, or even young adults, is the disconnect in the socialness, the
Hmm.
social connectivity. There was, kids not being able to see each other for a while, then they come face to face, and then they're just stuck on their phones.
Yeah,
And adults too, not just children,
sure.
all of us. So, it's such a wild time that
Yeah.
this happened, and we've kind of gotten away from the networking, which is the face to face,
Yep.
like you and I seeing each other, having this conversation in different states right now,
Yep.
but still having a connection.
Hmm.
We're not on a phone call where we can't see each other, which would still be energetic.
Sure.
This is so much more human,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
We're taking away a lot of the humanity from ourselves, and at the same time, we've injected a lot of humanity. So, depending on which way your mindset goes, which we have choice over. And
Yeah.
I wish more people would align themselves with the knowing that we can make the decisions in our life every day, all our lives, to make better choices, to have the better thoughts, and to bring ourselves into this awareness more naturally, more organically, so that it's just a flow in our life and
Yep.
it's not like a hard space to get to. It's just who we are, which
Yep.
is who we are anyway.
Absolutely.
People get so far from that. I want
Yeah.
to bring more people into it because essentially it's who you really are as a soul.
Yep. Speaking of, if I put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds, it's career day, and they want to know what you do for a living, how do you explain it?
I would explain it as being yourself because, and which I used to be a teacher, so it wouldn't be hard to talk to
Yeah.
a bunch of 12-year-olds for me.
Yeah.
But I would just describe it as, I mean, it's the old adage of if Susie jumps off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? I think I said it to my kid the other day. I didn't say jump off a bridge, I said some other verbiage, but something alike where the intent was, if this person does this thing, does that mean you need to as well?
Right.
Do you use your own brain or do you follow another?
Hmm.
We're not, and again, getting back to the asking questions, are you being yourself? Is this really how you feel? And when you tap into your intuition, which I would explain to a 12-year-old because they should know about this. My 6-year-old knows because
Yeah.
we have these conversations. She's half that age.
Yeah.
The younger we start communicating with all ages, the more they know and get to know themselves better
Hmm.
because too many people get too far away from themselves and and then it's even harder and takes longer to get back to the core and the essence of who you are.
Yeah. What did you want to be at 12 years old? What was your dream job?
12. I think I wanted to go into psychology
Okay.
or teaching. But this was probably on the cusp of right after wanting to be a professional roller skater.
Okay. Yep. I get it. Yeah.
So I mean, then all of a sudden it shifted because people have always naturally come to me for advice, even in my young age, and that probably was about the time people started to come to me, Mikey likes me, what should I do?
Yeah.
And I think there was something in that, I mean, quite honestly, gave me a boost of confidence that people were confiding in me. But then also, I felt like I had good advice
Yeah.
and I had people's, uh, how do I say it, best interest at heart.
Sure.
So that combined, it was just a feel good thing, and that carried throughout my life. And but I've had to learn a lot about that. You can't just speak and advice give and not have it be asked for. And there's a way to do it where it's not egoic and where it is really coming from a spirited, soulful place, a heart-centered space, more than I just feel good because I told this person this thing.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Who has been that inspiration, that heroic force in your life that's allowed you to find your voice, to find what you can do to help people to find their place in life?
There's a few people. One would be my dad. I loved who he was in business. He's retired now, but I love who he presented himself as, and not in a showcase entertainer way, but
Yeah.
just as he was. He was always himself. He was in sales and high up in the companies that he worked for and with, but he worked really hard. He never acted in ego. And when he had built relationships with these people over time, I had the pleasure of going with him to work on occasion. And I got to see his clients and customers and coworkers, and the rapport that he had was so beautiful. Um, it was very, very cool. He showed himself as this humorous, gentle, kind-hearted person, and at the same time, hey, you want to buy this thing? And it was just so low key, no pressure, um, and such a humility and a humbleness about him, but yet also a gentle, strong confidence. Um, he was always my go-to. Him and my aunt were always my go-to for business. You know, how do I navigate through this with my boss, and how do I get through this? So those two people, but then someone I don't know, um, Ram Dass,
Yeah.
Be Here Now, one of the greats, now passed, and in another realm, but his movement of be here now, be present, tattooed on me.
Yeah.
Obviously, deep meaning for me to just be present, and my dad really showed that, and my aunt showed that, and that's why they were such likable people and not characters, not trying to play a role but be a role.
Yeah.
And that's why even in my business I capitalize the words be whenever that's available to do, well-being with a capital be, because it's who we're being in given moments that is so important. Is It's even more essential than how we're doing things, because we often ask ourselves in a stuck moment or passage of time, how do I get through this? How is this going to happen? What's the next step? Well, who are you being in these moments? Are you riding the wave of anxiety, or are you in this moment where you're in a state of flow and you're just going to trust that whatever happens next, you're going to conquer in some way, and you just do it?
Yeah.
And so these people have showed me, they've taught me a lot.
What gets you up every day to do this work that you do? You have to take care of your soul and your family, but what is it that motivates you to consistently do the best you can and evolve as a human being?
There's something in me, this natural, like a soul calling that has been since my early teens, that I couldn't really put a pin on it. I didn't know what a life coach was. I didn't know that there was certification for this even until 10 years ago. Um, but what gets me up in the morning is knowing that I am a small piece, a tiny piece, a little speck of a huge, massive movement of the conscious collective. I am a tiny part of helping unite humanity in this time now more than ever, where the silliest things, an ad campaign, a commercial, are dividing us. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And people don't even see that the intent behind these things. I'm here to not tell people what to do. People are gonna do what they're gonna
Yeah.
do. I'm here to help inspire something in themselves. I don't tell people what to do. I'm not an authoritative figure. I'm the opposite of that. I'm someone that wants to help you help yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and it makes me filled with such joy to do what I do that it's a pleasure. It's an absolute honor to be in this role, to do this. And it's like a call of duty for me. It's just, it feels like I'm so tapped into this that whether I made $1 or 1,000 in a day, I'd still do it. I'm doing it. It's just part of who I am. And it's a really good feeling. And I want to keep creating this ripple effect in every single person that I talk to so that there's a takeaway and then it's just a spark that ignites in themselves and then they take it and they pass the torch on to others.
Yeah,
That's my intent.
absolutely. So let me ask you this: of everything that you've done in your life and evolved to, what are you the proudest of?
Uh, well, these two things that we spoke of today, that would be the birth of my child
Yeah,
and raising a homeschooled lovely, loving, wise, cosmic being of a child that we talk about so many soulful, wonderful things that it's beyond my wildest dreams
yeah,
to have these conversations with my child who's still so young. And I like just dumbfounded and bewildered at the conversations to come. And then also this life coaching and being able to communicate and have really clear conversations about what I do and who I serve and how I help and to help again ignite that in others so that they can really see themselves clearly and have this motivation for themselves. It's just something that ignites me.
yeah. So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, but you're the one running the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think I am someone that is in constant self-evolution, that the person that I may have been friends with 10 years ago wouldn't even know who I am today, would see glimmers of me but would also see how much I've grown. So there's the core of me and the essence and the vibe that's still always there, but there's something that is continually um, in a humble fashion shedding the layers of all the ego and moving more towards spirit. And a lot of people don't see me for me as I am now because they're still in an egoic state, because they're still challenged with all the perceptions of themselves and so concerned and worried about a public perception of who they are, as opposed to moving away from that and shedding all those layers and moving into who they really are. I think a lot of people don't see me for who I am now. Um, and it's not a place of betterment, like I'm better than anyone else. It's just we're all on our own path in our own way, and on our own time. And so I think a lot of people wouldn't see that because their perception is a little bit different. Maybe they're not there yet. But the way I see myself is just someone of continual growth and expansion and also still self-reflecting and knowing that there's wounds I still need to heal and in my imperfect perfection, still human, still going through all the challenges and the struggles of waking up with an insecurity one day where the day before maybe I was feeling really strong. So it's humanity. It's the
Yeah,
ebb and flow, it's all of it. But when we have so much judgment with others, we miss opportunities to really see who people are
yeah,
instead of um, we spiritual bypass a lot
yeah.
because we're not playing the game ourselves, we're not doing the work ourselves. And so I One friend gave me excellent advice years ago when I embarked on this journey of life coaching. She said, Sam, the best way you can do this, she was a fitness coach at the time. She said, the way you can do this is embody everything about it. Like for me, I'm a fitness coach, so I'm wearing the leggings everywhere I go. People know I'm in the clothes. I'm presenting myself. They see my muscles because I've been working out. You have to embody it. So whatever
Yeah.
you do, you go out in the world and you embody it, you become it. And so everything I do all day, every day for decades is embodying this persona because it's not, again, it's not an entertainment thing of showcasing. It's really me at my soul's core.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope other people would see. But I'm not worried about what other people view of me. I'm more concerned of my perception of myself, which I think I mostly have a handle on, but again, work in progress.
So let me ask you this. We get off this call, time machine pulls up in front of your house. You can go anywhere in the history of time and see one moment with your own eyes. And it won't put a ripple in time, but what would you love to see with your own eyes?
Ooh. Well, what just hit me is trees being born for the very first time.
Yeah.
Oops, I
Uh-oh.
went off there. I don't know what happened. I'm
I don't
here.
know.
Here I am.
Yeah. We're back.
Uh, well, sometimes those glitches are a good thing.
I thought maybe a tree was going to grow. I thought a graphic was going to come up. It was pretty kind of
I
cool.
I feel some kind of spirit here, not gonna lie. So I think that glitch was on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Someone's here with me.
that's such a great answer. I've never heard anything. It's so unique. So let me ask you this. If anyone out there has any questions, they're curious, they want to hire you, any of the good business, where do they go?
Sure. They can go to rootswingswellness.com, my website. I have a free guide, The Art of Nonconformity. It's 5 powerful tips to break through, break free, and live authentically. Great, helpful tips there for you. Just sign up and it's a instant download. And then I'm also on Instagram mostly, and it's at Roots Wings Wellness.
Okay, and I will put all these links in the show notes. What a joy. Thank you so much for your story, your energy, your time. Best of luck with everything. And I love that picture behind you. It's so
Thank you.
I
This is Oregon.
okay, cool.